these eyebrows. They are a work in progress. They say our eyebrows are supposed to be sisters and not twins, but I don't think my eyebrows ever met each other a day in their life. They're two totally different opposites. I mean, even I look different on each side. Like, this person is completely different than this person. Like, it's sad. But what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video. I'm doing this pretty good. I guess I decided to start talking to you guys when I get ready for work. Don't know why. I just decided to, and one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is going back to the series of therapy and why I decided to go to therapy. So then the next session of therapy that I had, one of the things we talked about was me being a people pleaser. And I sat there and thought about it, which probably put me in the situations that I put myself in so many times because I am a people pleaser. Well, no, let me take that. Hi, my name is Perrine, and I am a recovering people pleaser. I have been a people pleaser all my life. It started at a very young age, and it continues to be a struggle to not be a people pleaser to this day. But anyways, so I believe that's what caused me to get into some of the issues that I was in because I didn't know how to stand up for myself and just say no. And so that was one of the things we talked about in therapy, in my therapy session, was being a definite people pleaser. Always wanting, because, okay, ultimately what it is this, I've learned to realize is this, a lot of times people pleasers are people who have been hurt so many times and who knows how it feels to be hurt and know how it feels to have someone do something to them that they don't want it to happen to them, or they have such a big heart that they want to do things for people because they love them and they care about them and they want to make sure that they're okay, without realizing that sometimes you're putting your own self in a situation to where you are hurting yourself. So I had to differentiate between being a people pleaser and just basically learning how to just say no. I don't want to do something, say no. And you know what, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. You know, if something's not right, something you don't like, something you don't want to do, if there's something that deep down in your spirit is telling you no, and you got someone in your ear saying, well, let's do this, come on. It's okay to say no. 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 I had to learn that, you know, and unfortunately it took me all these years, plus therapy, to understand it's okay to say no. It's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to do all of those things. Being a people pleaser put me in some, I want to say, messed up situations. That's not really what I wanted to say. I wanted to say fucked up situations. Oh, I don't want to get demonetized, and I just started on my YouTube channel back on my YouTube. It puts you in some messed up situations, and I know a lot of times it has to do with the fact that you really care about the person that you're doing this for. Case, for instance, me. I'm always going to refer to my first video because, you know, manipulation is real. It's a real thing, and it could hurt you in the long run if you don't know how to stand up for yourself and simply say no. You know, I am still learning how to set boundaries. That's the one thing we talked about in therapy, was setting boundaries. And how setting boundaries is beneficial for you, because ultimately what it does is, by you setting boundaries, it's letting the other person know that, you know, it is not okay to treat me this way. It's not okay to do this to me. It's not okay to do that to me. you know. And if someone crosses that boundary once, it's okay to, you know. The one thing my therapist did tell me was, you know, sometimes in life, if a person keeps doing that same thing over and over again and crossing that same boundary with you after you've told them constantly that you're uncomfortable, you might have to just say, you know what, we're going to end this right now. We're going to end this relationship. Many times, you know, it's hard, especially when it comes to like family and friends and people who you've known for a very long time who are used to you being a certain way. And when you stop being that certain way, there are people around you that would like you to go back to that way because it's more comfortable for them, because then they can continue to manipulate you and use you for their own personal reasons. I'm also recovering from not going back to my old ways and then continuing on to my new ones. I will admit that. It's a struggle every day. But you also have to surround yourself with people that see you trying to be you and the new you and cheer you on every single day. Also, what I've learned is those people who have manipulated you and do those things to you, you have to sit there and think about it, because after one of my therapy sessions, I had a really good thought. I was like, okay, so the person who did what they did to me, that had to have been a learned behavior. So where did that behavior come from? Who taught them that behavior? Where did that behavior arise? You know? And that's when you start thinking about other people. Say, for instance, in your family. You start thinking about their behaviors and the things that they do, and you start to think, well, where did that behavior come from? Where did that happen? Why is our family this way? It got me to thinking about a lot when I was going to therapy, because it got me thinking past woe is me, in a sense, to why. The whole why issues. Why is this going on? Why is my family the way it is? When did this start in my family? When did this happen? Who taught who how to do this? So then it started passing down from generation to generation to generation. When did this happen? Like, it gets you to thinking. Like, if you come out of therapy a better person, it makes you think. It makes you start thinking about, when did this start? Why is it going on? Or like, say for instance, why is my family always fighting? What is it? What made them fight? What made them cause this fight? Why is it this way? Why is it that way? Why is our family so torn? Like, when did this start? You know, it could be something just as simple as somebody said something wrong to somebody, and because one person is don't want to put their pride aside, and the other person don't want to put their pride aside, so they continue not to start talking to each other, and then it just ripples around, and now you have families disputing against each other, all because of one statement, all, you know, something simple as that. Or even, you know, I'm not saying if it's something really huge and really big and there's a reason why behind it, and you know, and then, you know, that's okay. But if it's something as simple as you saying something to somebody and nobody wants to give in, and family is so important. That's just the small things. Now the bigger things in there, the really huge things, you know, that in itself is why you go to therapy, is why you talk to a counselor, is why you talk to somebody, is why you get help, because you want to be able to mend the family, but also in the same sense, you want to sit there and think about other issues that could be going on. A lot, like I say to people, so what I've learned, and from experience, a lot of things are learned. things are learned. A lot of things in life is a learned behavior, whether it's something very, very good or very, very bad. You learned it from somewhere. You've seen it from somewhere. You've learned it. So a lot of that stuff is a learned behavior. You just have to, in a sense, unlearn it. And that's why I went to therapy, is because I also realized too, a lot of my behaviors comes from past traumas that I've dealt with in my life. And that, so my first reaction was to go back to that. I'm not saying all of it was my fault, because it's not. I take blame for some of the things, for everything that I've done wrong, I take blame for. But you know what, at the end of the day, what I have also learned too is that those things that were not my fault, I am not taking the blame for anymore. I just will not do that. But I've also learned too that I will refuse to let the same issues that went on with me go ahead and trickle down to my daughter. So one of the things that I do is I sit down and I talk to my daughter about issues and things that me and my mother could never talk about. There's things that I've talked to her about that I've done as a kid that people know. People know. Some people know, some people don't. But I've talked to it with my daughter, because I don't want her to go down the same road that I went down ever in life. Ever. Which is why I am the way I am with her too. Is because of the road that I went down in life, and I don't want her to go down that road as well. I don't want her to experience the things that I've experienced in life, but I also want her to learn. So I think about a lot of stuff. Going back to therapy. So one of the things that he was sitting there and he was looking at me, because when I first walked in there, I was forcing a smile. I was trying to be happy because, frankly, and that's how I felt in my life. I wasn't happy. I was like, you know what? I am so done with this. I'm done feeling this way. I'm done acting this way. I'm done doing these things. I am so done. And so we talked about me being able to not be a people pleaser and learning how to just say no. And when someone doesn't respect your no, that's their problem. That ain't your problem, because you have the right to say no. When someone doesn't respect your boundaries, say no. You have that right. And being a recovering people pleaser who is still recovering from those stages, I still am learning to say no. Am I perfect? No. N-O. Never have been, never will be, still working on me. Ay. Never have been, never will be, but I'm working on me. Ay. Let me stop. Oh, am I perfect? No. Not in a sense. Not in a sense whatsoever. And I told my daughter some stories. Stories. When I tell you, I told my baby some stories. Some stories. Ignore the eyebrows, because she's still learning. But stories. I told my babies, my daughter, some stories. Would you late? I'm gonna have to fix the hair. Lord Jesus, let me fix this. Y'all, excuse me. Just go with it. Yep, I'm getting ready for work, so just go with me fixing the wig. But when I tell y'all, I told my daughter some stories, because I don't hide nothing from her. At first, I used to hide stuff from her. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be open and honest with her, so she could understand why I am the way I am and why I do the things I do. Because it's better for me to be honest with her and tell her the truth than to cover up with a lie. But I went to therapy, and that was one of the reasons why I went to therapy, is because I wanted to be able to open up and tell the truth. Because I've always been a private person. Jesus, why won't this wig stay put? And why do I feel like I'm all over the place today? Probably because I wanted to share with you guys so much. But being a recovering people pleaser is hard. It is so hard because you have to work on that stuff every single day of your life. You have to work on being a people pleaser. You have to work on constantly pleasing people and putting yourself behind and not thinking about you. And it's okay to think about you sometimes. I had to learn that. It's okay to make sure you're okay. It's okay to make sure you are doing okay and that your mental state is okay. It's okay to do those things. It's okay to make yourself feel like, you know, that you're okay. But it's also okay to say no. And if someone doesn't respect your no, then they don't respect you. And they're used to you being the old you. Because they don't respect you. I had to learn that the hard way. Referring back to that old video, first video of me laying there, sitting there crying on the floor. This bubbling crybaby on the floor. That person put up with a lot. She went through a lot, and she still goes through a lot every single day. She still struggles. She still has issues. She still goes through issues every single day. She's carried so much on her shoulders that she could not, I mean, she didn't maintain a lot. Like, for real. She was just so hard and broken. And she's still recovering. In 2 years, she's learned to love herself. She's learned to love her faults. She's learned to love her flaws. She's learned to accept herself for who she really is. And she's still learning and still got so much to learn. And she's got so much growing to do. And it was because of the education she received. I mean, it had a lot to do with it. It did. I ain't gonna lie. It had a lot to do with it because it taught her how to slow her process and thinking. It had to do with the fact that she's seen a goal. She accomplished that goal. And she trusted people. I don't think I'm probably going to upload this video, but not right now. What? I can't see. What do you do? He what? Where? So get 2 plastic bags. You have to excuse me. Mommy duty calls. One second. So mommy duty called. You didn't have to whisper. She just didn't want to be on here. But mommy duty still calls. Please don't let that have been all over the place. I just had something to say and I had to get it out. But hopefully that's helped you. And I will be back with another video. Let me finish. One of my eyelashes. I got one of my eyelashes done, but I'm gonna finish being a mommy. Well, I'm a mommy 24/7, 365 days out the year. That's not gonna change. I'm gonna always be a mommy.
Is this what you used on it?
Huh?
Is this what you used on it for?
Yes, ma'am. Well, first, hold on. We should have some antibacterial wipes. I know we got some. Oh no, the spray's down here. I'm gonna use this one there.
Is that one?
No, I don't want to use the one with bleach. I don't want to use that. We'll use some of this. Some pine sol, baby.
Hey, but you don't know what to do with this stuff.
Yeah, just put it in a bowl, put some water in it, and then use this towel right here. Well, no, hold on. Use this towel and wipe that up. Oh, I'll be uploading again, so gotta go. Bye.